So where I was going with it
Yeah.
is we got lost in going after the manifestations of God. Lost the fact of what faith really is. I mean, that's seeing, kind of the end goal, seeing how Father sees you. When I look at Jay, it's like I need to look at Jay how my Father looks at Jay, the finished work. Now Jay has some, he might not shoot straight or anything like that, but I'm going to look at him how the Father looks at him. The whole envelope of what it is to move in power, the gifts of the Spirit. I mean, just really getting after it, deliverances. I mean, I've seen some things that just, the average person would be, no, that doesn't happen.
Sure.
It's like when you go to Africa, right?
Yeah.
You experience things that when it gets out of our culturalized area, the United States, and get into the real meat and potatoes of things, I mean, it can get a little unnerving for people.
Yeah.
And we saw God moving in such an incredible way. We were healings, deliverances. I mean, it was so new for us. And we were like, gosh, this is phenomenal. We're just, and just great joy with it too, because, you watch that move. I remember one night we're at 3:30 in the morning, doing worship and stuff. And I mean, people were just laid out on the floor, just like worshiping. Some people were sleeping and stuff. And there was a guy from IHOP, Bob Swan. And I was sitting there with a brother of mine, Jim Williams, and we're just sitting there on a back couch, just looking at it and just watching everybody. And all of a sudden, this Bob Swan guy gets up. And granted, there's only like a couple feet in between each person. I mean, literally, it would have took you time to walk through the room. The dude starts running and dancing around the room. I mean, flapping his arms and just running, and did not step on a person. I'm just like, what? What is that? And seeing things like that. So where I was going with it is we got lost in, going after the manifestations of God.
The experiences.
Yeah. And kind of lost the fact of, what faith really is. I mean, that's seeing, kind of the end goal, seeing how Father sees you. When I look at Jay, it's like I need to look at Jay how my Father looks at Jay, the finished work. Now Jay has some, he might not shoot straight or anything like that, but I'm going to look at him how the Father looks at him. But that's the thing, right? And once we realized that, I mean, and we slowly started to see, aspects of just the move of, Father first, faith first, identity first. Kind of just watch it just kind of crumble a little bit. And then we started the road. Yeah. So
that journey of just putting your faith, it's just, I love how you tied that to seeing, because those experiences we're seeing.
Oh.
And so like, then if you just are believing because you're seeing, it causes you this void where when you're not seeing, do you still believe?
Right.
Does it require you to see something to believe? Yeah. Because then I would check. Like I had the same experience, because I had to check my heart, because I've been questioning every once in a while. It falls into this place of my feelings become my belief meter.
Right.
And that's kind of scary.
Well, absolutely, because then it becomes, it's the judgment zone, right? I mean, you become the judge, jury, and executioner of everything that you look at. You're like, well, that doesn't measure up to my experience. Well, it ain't about you, pal. It ain't about you, pal. It's about your Father's work, for sure. But I can tell you this, though. I mean, there is a beauty past that, and those experiences are important.
Yeah,
I
sure.
mean, they're part of the kingdom, right? I mean, we should walk in the fullness of our fruits and the fullness of our gifts, and experience all these things.
Amen.
And walk in that power, right?
Amen.
I think the real beauty is you start to walk through, and you start to, God is a God of order, right? As you get everything lined up in His way, and you start to, good fruit takes time to grow.
Yeah.
So as you start to develop your fruit, I mean, you can look at things a little bit differently. And then when you see those experiences, you see them in such a way, you see them with a depth that, whereas before you were just on the sideline and you were so focused on that one situation where that one situation was everything. That's everything. That's the kingdom. Look at what's going on. But God's like, I am so much more than this. You know, we were looking at the holy. We were missing the holy, holy, holy. We were missing that. We just had that experience here, right there, with the oil. You know, I mean, that was an incredible.
I'm trying to remember that story. Share that story.
Yeah, so that was at a Road to Unity.
Yeah.
So, you know, we make the oil for the road ministries and stuff. I mean, it's just kind of one of the things that I've really just jumped into, you know, in terms of what is a perfumer.
Yeah.
So I've become a perfumer working with a dude and stuff. And so we make the oil, and I make the oil for events, and sometimes my math isn't too good. You know, I really miscalculated on how much I really needed for the event. And we get up there and we're putting it in these vessels, and I'm like to Dawn, I'm like, babe, we don't have enough. We don't have enough.
Just to clarify, Mark is a professional perfumer. He had the right amount of ingredients to make it, but he was saying the vast amount of it for the event didn't make enough. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I was supposed to make a gallon, made a quarter of a gallon. And so we were with Liz and Jake and a couple other people, and we just started pouring. We just started pouring that oil, man. And we're pouring. Next thing you know, everything is all filled up to the allocation which the road, you know, wants. And we're looking at it, and we're like, that jug never moved. Never moved. And so the two people that were there, we released them as perfumers, right? And just, it's kind of a thing where, you know, as they poured the oil over Aaron, and it dripped down on his beard like they do of Herman. And so I'm pouring it on their hands, and I'm pouring it. Dude, I'm just going to town here, pouring it. And that thing never moved.
Wow.
And then we put it into the little laundry room over there. And I go back, and I'm like, that jar is filling up. I'm like, somebody's punking me here. Somebody's pouring oil into that thing and just messing with me. So I went and checked, and I'm like, oh my gosh, as fragrant as it could ever be. And man, to this day, we've given away so much, and that jar is still the same. But past that, there were other things that happened, other incredible gifts that were just, I mean, it's just Jake and Liz. So you know Jake. He was the camp counselor up at
oh yeah.
Fork. I don't know how you say their name. I do.
His last name?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, Jake.
But Jake and Liz. No, I know. I can spell it. But they were praying for something really incredible to happen too, because of some personal things they were going through, you know, and God moved through that. God showed us in this way, you know, with the oil that just kept growing. You know, it's like the widow, bring me your vases. You know, we'll continue to fill it with oil. And, you know, he did something just incredible with them. That was just like, I just stood back, and it's like, the oil, super cool, but what he did for his kids and how it just worked through a couple other people, you know, so that's the holy, holy, holy aspect. I mean, when you see that one aspect of God, that movement, that healing, you know, that incredible impartation, you know, the eyes to see, ears to hear, God just doesn't do it once. He's going to continue to do it in abundance, right? So to look past and see those other things happen behind what we deem a big thing in that moment.
Yeah.
The real beauty is all the other stuff that he's doing too.
Yeah.
And then when you wrap that all up, you're like, the heck.
Yeah, he's got big plans.
Oh.
And he's moving in mighty ways. And I love how you talk about, like, if we're just focusing on that or the event or the oil,
Yeah.
it actually can take away from seeing what he was doing over here.
Yeah.
It's like the oil thing is really cool, but then for you to step back and say, yeah, well, he was doing a big move.
Yeah.
And that's where the Lord's been challenging my heart a lot of better understanding what is to come.
Mm.
And to look at, and do I have a grid
Yeah.
for I really like Troy Brewer, his teaching out of Texas, because of the way that he stumbled upon a lot of the supernatural stuff.
Okay.
Was being faithful and obedient to the Lord, and his testimony and his story about rescuing people out of trafficking and rescuing kids out of trafficking, and then things just coming to him.
Yeah.
And now you have to have a grid through the Bible that doesn't derail you, doesn't change your faith, right? Because things are happening that are supernatural, that oil jars just don't end, things like that, where we have a grid and we understand that God is on the move and he's doing a mighty work.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
so much past that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, we read the word about, they put the watchman to watch for the old ways.
Yeah.
And I reminisce in that a lot too, just being, we talk about being circumspective, right?
Mm.
And just in looking, not so much for the bad, but look at the good.
Yeah.
It's like, in the faith questions, it's like, when I size somebody up, when you look at them, I mean, you just had Mark Hollis in here.
Yeah.
Talk about a dude that can size somebody up. I mean, it would be like, whoa.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, right? I mean, how do we get ourselves into a position to say, when I look at Jay, when I look at Zipporah, I see how the Father sees them.
Mm.
I look past who they are today, who they are right in front of me.
Yeah.
But to look at them with my supernatural eyes, to see them how the Father sees them. I mean, that takes some time, man. That takes some practice. And I'm not there because I'm still struggling with some things.
Sure.
I still struggle with some people. And it's like, I joke with Chuck, Chuck is a pillow. I'm a hammer. My wife says, you're so black and white on things. It's like, yeah, because the word says this and there's no deviation from it. So we need to go.
Yeah.
Time is short. Let's go.
Well, I love Dean always says, around here, he always says, truth doesn't negotiate with sin. And
absolutely.
I think we tend to have a false view of love, thinking that love negotiates with sin.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden we end up in a whole bunch of trouble.
Yeah.
Because we're trying to dance around the heart of God and be as close to the edge of where God will accept us versus just going at the center of it and saying, I lay down my life.
Yeah. Because that's the thing, right? I mean, when we start to talk about that, when we make those statements, what is our filter like?
Mm-hmm.
How is that stuff getting through our filter?
Yeah.
And we hear that in a totally different way than how he means to deliver it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you've just identified the human race. Why we all can't just get along, right? I mean, I love it when they say, like, all right, so chapter 3, we're already planning to be demised, right? And then in chapter 22, we're seeing the New Jerusalem.
It's over.
This is the reconciliation of man right here. I mean, the whole middle book is just the Father trying to redeem his sons and daughters. And it's that filter, right? I mean, that is the filter. I mean, as we can get these pages down, less and less and less, it's like a paper particulate filter, right? I mean, the best coffee, really goes through, just a super filter, right? I mean, slow, it takes time to drip through, but when you get through it, are you a pour over guy? No?
But I know the concept, but yeah.
You know what? The ones that are there forever.
Yeah.
And that's how I think the Father just, with us, he's so patient with us.
Well, and I think that we so often look at this life and we hold so tight to this life that we forget that we're eternal beings now.
Yeah.
Like because our lives are so often like the center. We believe we're the center of the universe, right?
Yeah.
And Jesus Christ is the center of the universe. And so but we're always like, oh, I want it to be my way. And it's it's a blessing. I think once we can it's really truly freeing when you start to realize that you're not the center of the universe, that Christ is the center of the universe, and that this life is not about you.
Yeah.
It's about you, and it's about your love in your relationship with him, and then what he can do in and through you.
Yeah.
And your faith, when you properly place your faith on him, he can then use you in such a way that there's no denying your faith.
Right.
And somebody can see it because you're making decisions based on the filter of your faith. And they're going, wait, this doesn't make sense. No one would respond to a cancer diagnosis like that.
Yeah.
Like I have a brother that I've seen the wildness of his faith, where he is my age, young, beautiful family, pancreatic cancer diagnosis, and his faith has shined so bright through that. He is, every time I've seen him, he's smiling ear to ear.
Yeah.
And he has so much peace. And I just see Yeshua in him in everything that he does. And now today, like after, he did go through chemo, 11 bouts of it, 11 rounds of it. They can't find cancer in him.
Yeah. That's the oil.
That's the oil.
That's the oil. That's God
he
telling you.
He still has his hair in his beard.
Yeah. Why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he? Because he's doing heaven on earth, right? Because we are the most important person in our own circle. How can this happen to me? How can this be taken away from me so quickly? Not my will, Father, but yours. Your will be done on earth it is in heaven. Whew. See, when I hear stories like that, I mean, that's, you talk about, the great cloud of witness. I mean, that's the things that, I put into my, my mental chest, my mental Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah.
And just always try to recall those things. Remember that story when Jay was talking about the buddy going through cancer and stuff, and he went through it as just.
That's the whole book.
Yeah.
That's why Moses' last will and testament is remember and don't forget. Why do we need to put pillars up? Why do we need to do these things? So I can show the next generation how the goodness and the faithfulness of God, and how quickly an amazing oil story happens, and I go on to the next thing, and the next thing comes smashing in my face, and I go, God, where are you? Help me through this. And it's like,
right. Yeah.
Like,
I don't think I can handle this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that's why we do that Ark of the Covenant at home.
Mm.
We have that little box on our counter that, when God moves and we know that he's moving and we experience it, we write it down and we put it in that box.
Mm.
And then at the end of the year, we read that. And, you can't believe it. Some of the things that were just in that moment were like, are you kidding?
Yeah.
That just doesn't happen.
That's such a cool concept.
And when you read it, maybe a few months later, it's like,
how could you? But it's
what?
But it's like the enemy comes right at those things and kill, steal, and destroy. And if he can destroy the memory of what God's doing, that's what he's after a lot.
You know what? That's why I think, we talk about, there's been studies, battlefield of the mind. That's why I think the mind is so important. I think Christ is so in the mind of his sons and daughters because he constantly wants to renew our mind, right? Because it's so important. It's such a key element to, our walk as sons and daughters. He gave you a sound mind, right? That's what it says.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of write that off. We really don't. One of the spiritual exercises is, what is it to me to have a sound mind? What do I have to do on a daily basis to make sure that I have a sound mind? Especially when I move out of my safe place, when I get into, his arena. and let's be honest. I mean, and his arena is right by us. I mean, I try not to get on social media, but I look at some of the stuff where like brothers and sisters are right. Like, what are we doing?
Right.
What are we doing? That's it.
Yeah. Well,
It's
it's
J and Mark 3.0.
well, it's a good message for somebody to hear right now, because it's really hard to set your faith on eternal things when you're so focused on the worldly.
Yeah.
And most of social media is a worldly inward focus.
Oh,
And so that's where I just really encourage somebody that's considering, shut the social media off. Just take the time and do what's right for your own heart, and to renew your mind and see what 10 days without it is like. I just challenge somebody out there right now to just shut it down for 10 days.
Yeah.
All of it. You will live. And the only thing that's keeping you from doing that is fear. And where does fear come from? Fear comes from the enemy.
Yeah.
And so it's like, let it go and just see what God does in that move, and take that time. I saw a nasty, actually, it was like an advertisement where it shows the gravestones of people. I don't know who did it. I don't even know what the advertisement's for, but I was watching a football game, and it was the headstones of people, and it said Sally, her birth date, and it said she loved to text. That's what it said on her headstone.
Oh.
She loved pinning stuff on Instagram. Like, do we really want our headstones to say that?
Yeah.
Like, so, but, well, I'll close with this. So, and this is a deep topic, but let's try to wrap it up with this. So, our belief affect what we do on a daily basis. So what we put our faith in, in God said, or in James, it talks about faith and works, and going on and touching into that. Yeah. So what does your faith do? Just maybe give me 3 examples of what your faith does for you and what it causes you to do maybe differently than it would have if you didn't have that faith.
Well,
that's a hard question.
Yeah. Good one to close on. Yeah. That's a tough one. I mean, because what's the attributes of my faith? Well, it's the fruit of my spirit, right? I mean, so how do I measure that? I mean, how am I doing with loving? How am I doing with patience? How am I doing with self-control? I mean, I go down that list all the time and ask myself that question. How you doing here? How you doing here? And then really just jumping into, with the Spirit and say, you know what? How am I really doing here? How do you see me in these attributes? And that's a tough ask, because, sometimes I'm really, really good, and sometimes I'm not so good. I you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I don't even want to go to what it would look like not to have faith.
Yeah.
It's not who I am.
Right.
I mean, it's like, hey, well, tell me about, all your sins. Oh, what are you talking about? I mean, the one that I just did an hour ago, or the one that I repented from, 5 years ago.
Or 5 hours ago.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the thing. So I don't think I'm going to answer that question.
Sure.
Because we need to be going glory to glory, right? I mean, we need to be renewing. We need to be moving forward. We need to taste and see. I mean, those aren't one and done things. I mean, that's an attribute, of the sons and daughters, that we continually, onward Christian soldier, right? We sing songs about that, and I think the devil wants to take us back to those times and say, well, when you weren't doing it correctly, what were you doing? I don't want to open those doors.
Sure.
I mean,
Absolutely.
that's just,
it's a dark tunnel to think about. I would have made this decision had I had this faith. I would have made this, like, I can see it. Like, I mean, I know I can see areas of my life. And so I really respect your answer in the fact that it's like, what is the body of Christ designed for? to stir each other on, to encourage each other to
Yeah.
good works,
Yeah.
and to point each other and say, we're not holding account. That's what love is.
Right.
Are we really, do we got a scoreboard that we have to, look at this guy. He fell over here. He made this sin. He made that. And it's like, man, do we really got to drudge up stuff that somebody said 5 years ago? Do we know that he repented of that? Like,
Yeah.
do we, whatever.
Oh,
Let's encourage.
yeah.
So
Well,
I appreciate you encouraging me in that. That's
Well,
good.
I mean, that's the thing, right? I mean, that's the thing. That's community, right? I mean, we need to, be uplifting to one another. I mean, it's like an old story when I was going through the mall with my two boys. This was years ago. And, I said, today we're going to go through the mall when people actually went to the mall, when there were full malls, right? And before Amazon. And I said to him, I said, you know what? I said, today we're going to act like men. We're going to Andrizoma. We're going to play the man. And I said, everybody you walk by today in the store, in the mall, I said, I want you to look at them right in the eye. And when they look at you, I want you to nod your head, a sign of acknowledgement that you see them.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, we're going through the mall, getting some things and stuff. We get back into the car, and my youngest, I mean, my kids they're like their mom. I mean, you know how she is. I mean, such a tender heart. I mean, they're such tender hearts. Little one just starts crying. Just crying. I'm like, bro, what's going on? Because I thought the other one punched him,
Sure.
honestly, right?
Yeah.
And he said, nobody looked at me.
Mm.
And at that point, I realized, you know what? It's a truly broken world.
Mm-hmm.
And this was probably 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So think about what's happened with technology
Now.
in 20 years.
Yeah.
I mean, if they weren't doing it then,
They definitely ain't doing it today.
aren't doing it today,
Yeah.
But that's the thing, right? I mean, we need to make that effort. We need to really, be fruit forward, I guess is the best way to put it. I really put yourself out there and just,
yeah.
how you doing today? Like, Sephora, what do you want to be called? What do you want, your nickname, or do you want your given name?
Yeah.
I mean, to be intentional about those things, to look at people and not just see Jay, but see the Jay that's like standing there just watching all the other ones in the crowd, cheering everybody on. Let's go, you can do it. It's all worth it.
Yeah.
It's all worth it. I've seen it. I've tasted and seen. If I would have known what I would have known, I'd have done it different.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
We know what heaven looks like. We've experienced it. We've seen the healings. We've been in just the faith-filled environments where it's like people are just hungry for the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen the power of God move.
100%.
Man.
Yeah. Good deal. I just
is the buzzer going off?
I know. I just keep thinking of don't be overwhelmed by evil, but overwhelm evil with good.
Yeah.
And it's just it's a place right now in time where you it's not very hard to shine. When you shine and just smile.
Yeah.
How much a smile changes
That's
everything.
all it takes. That's all it takes.
So,
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being in here. Thank you for sharing stories about your faith. And thank you, audience, for tuning in to this week's Rules and Tools. I really hope that this message blesses you. I hope that you share it with anybody that you feel it would bless and move in their heart. And also, always a reminder, we are a ministry, Set Free Ministries. We'd love to walk with you. If you got questions about a freedom appointment, want to learn more about the road ministry, any of those things, the links will be in the description. We'd love to partner with you. We'd love to walk with you, and God bless.